Waiter Black single dad was humiliated at dinner, until the billionaire spoke. His hidden mammoth glass did not just slip. It flew. Red wine spilled across the white tablecloth and over the woman's silver dress. She jumped up and screamed, "You idiot!" She shouted, "Do you even know how much this dress costs?" The whole table laughed. Phones came out. Someone started filming. Marcus Reed stood frozen, his hands still in the air, the empty glass stem shaking between his fingers. His black vest was tied around his chest. He could feel his heart pounding. I'm so sorry, ma'am," he said. His voice was soft, almost lost under the laughter. "I tripped." "Of course you did," the man beside her said. He wore a gold watch and a smile that was sharp like a knife. "Can't expect much from a waiter, right? Especially one like you." The word stung. Marcus knew what one like you meant. He had heard it his whole life. His dark skin, his cheap shoes, his tired eyes. At the back of the hall, the restaurant manager, Mr. Clay, stared with cold, angry eyes. He dragged a finger across his throat. A warning. Marcus swallowed. He needed this job. His 8-year-old daughter needed food, rent, shoes that fit. "I'll clean it right away," Marcus said. He reached for a cloth. His hands shook. The man with the gold watch leaned back in his chair. "Relax," he said. "The real show starts when the billionaire gets here." He smirked. "And I can't wait to see you mess that up too." At that exact moment, the big glass doors of the hall swung open. Everyone turned. The billionaire had arrived. 2 hours earlier, the hall had been empty. Marcus stood alone, lining up wine glasses so carefully you'd think they were made of air. "Reed," Mr. Clay snapped. "Move faster. This is the biggest night of the year. Mr. Daniel Cole himself is coming. Billionaire, war hero, philanthropist. If you embarrass us tonight, you're done. Understand?" "Yes, sir," Marcus said. "Good, and smile more. You look poor." Marcus pressed his lips together. He did not answer. He could not. His phone buzzed in his pocket. He stepped into the kitchen and pulled it out for just 1 second. A photo popped up. His little girl, Mia, grinning with a missing tooth, holding a drawing. "Good luck, Daddy." In the picture she had drawn him in a suit, not in a waiter's vest. He smiled. His chest hurt a little. The cook, Louise, looked up from the grill. "You okay, man?" "I'm fine," Marcus lied. "Rent's due tomorrow. I need this shift." Louise shook his head. "These rich people don't see us, bro. Just be careful." "So," a mocking voice said behind them, "is this where the help hides?" Marcus turned. The man with the gold watch stood in the kitchen doorway now, looking around like the room smelled bad. 2 women in shiny dresses were with him, laughing at everything he did. "This is a private area, sir," Marcus said. "Oh, look at that," the man said. "He talks like he owns the place." One woman whispered loudly, "He's kind of cute." For a single dad waiter, they had heard. Staff gossip spread fast. Marcus's ears burned. "Can I help you with something, sir?" "You can try not to ruin our evening," the man said. "We're at table 1. VIP. Don't forget." He stepped closer, eyes hard. "And if you spill even 1 drop on me." He smiled, but it was not kind. "You'll wish you'd never been born." Marcus forced himself to nod. He did not know that this same man would soon throw a glass on purpose, and blame it on him. By the time the billionaire walked in, the hall was full of light and noise. Music played. Cameras flashed. The rich and powerful smiled for one another. Gold and silver dresses flashed like coins. Waiters rushed back and forth like quiet ghosts. Marcus moved between tables with his tray held high. At table 1, the man with the gold watch, his name was Grant, lifted another glass. "How about some real service now?" he called. Marcus came over. "Yes, sir. You hear that?" Grant said to his friends. "Yes, sir. Love how they say that." They all laughed. "Where are you from?" one woman asked Marcus. "Like, originally, I'm from here, ma'am," Marcus said. She frowned. "No, but like, really?" Grant chuckled. "He's from the land of bad choices and child support." Marcus's jaw tightened. His hands squeezed the tray so hard his fingers hurt. He thought of Mia, reading on their tiny couch, waiting for him. Just bring the wine, Grant said. Maybe you can get that right. At the door, the billionaire stepped in. The room fell quiet for a second, like it was taking a breath. Daniel Cole wore a simple black suit. No gold watch, no chains. He walked with calm steps, his eyes moving across the room, seeing everything. Mr. Clay ran to him, bowing almost. Mr. Cole, welcome, sir. We are honored. Daniel smiled politely, but his eyes kept moving. For a moment, they landed on Marcus, and stayed there. Marcus felt a strange chill. The billionaire's gaze was sharp, searching, almost remembering, but that was stupid. Marcus told himself. They had never met. How could they? Still, his heart started to race, because once, years ago, in a hot, broken place far away, a young soldier had looked at him with those same desperate eyes, and had said, "Sergeant Reed, please don't let me die." Dinner went on. Speeches, toasts, fake smiles. Marcus kept working. His legs ached, his shoulders burned, but he forced his back straight, his face calm. Wine, Grant snapped. Now, and get it right this time. Marcus brought the bottle. He poured carefully into Grant's glass. His fingers were steady. He had done this 1,000 times. Suddenly, Grant jerked his hand on purpose, hitting the bottom of the glass. The wine flew, red as blood. It splashed across the woman's dress. She screamed. My dress. Are you serious? Everyone turned. Phones came out again. The sound was like a storm. Grant leapt to his feet. His voice boomed. What is wrong with you? He shouted at Marcus. You can't even pour a drink. I didn't. Or Marcus started. I saw it. The woman cried. He just flung it. More people chimed in. Unbelievable. This service is terrible. Who hired him? Mr. Clay rushed over, his face red. Reed, he shouted. What did you do? I didn't. He hit the glass. You're blaming the guest. Mr. Clay yelled. Here, tonight. No. That's it, Mr. Clay said. His voice was like ice now. You're done. You're fired. Get out. The whole hall went silent. Every eye was on Marcus. Please, Marcus said softly. Please, I need this job. I have a daughter. Grant laughed. Maybe you should have thought of that before you ruined our evening. Someone giggled. Another phone flashed. Marcus felt his throat close. His hands shook as he pulled off his apron. It fell to the floor with a small, sad sound. His phone buzzed again. A text from Mia. Did they clap for you, Daddy? I know you're the best. His eyes burned. He bent down to pick up his apron. The room towered over him. And then a chair scraped back. A calm voice cut through the air. Sergeant Marcus Reed. The billionaire said. Silence crashed over the room like a wave. Marcus froze, still half bent toward the floor. Slowly, he straightened. The billionaire was standing now. Daniel Cole's eyes were locked on his. There was shock there, and something else. Something like pain. I'm sorry, sir, Marcus said. Daniel took a step forward. Sergeant Marcus Reed, he repeated. 3rd Battalion, Kandahar, you carried me out of the fire? A picture flashed in Marcus's mind. Sand, smoke, screams, a young soldier covered in blood, clutching Marcus's vest. Don't let me die, Sarge, the boy had cried. I've got you, Marcus had said. Stay with me. He had not thought of that night in years. He had tried to bury it. Now it stood in front of him. All grown up, worth billions. Daniel Cole. I don't understand, Marcus said, his voice shaking. That was you. Daniel nodded. His voice cracked. I looked for you when I came home. They told me you were dead. Sometimes, Marcus said softly. It felt like I was. The room watched, confused. Grant's mouth hung open. Mr. Clay shifted from foot to foot. Hold on, Grant said, trying to laugh. What is this? Some kind of story. Daniel turned his head slowly. When he spoke, his voice was calm but sharp. This man, he said, pointing at Marcus, carried me on his back for 2 miles under fire. He held my hand while the medic worked. He kept telling me I would live, even when I didn't believe it. He looked back at Marcus. His eyes shone. You are the reason I am standing here, Sergeant Reed. Marcus swallowed hard. He could not speak. Daniel's gaze moved to Mr. Clay. Is this, he asked, his voice now cold, how you treat your heroes? Mr. Clay stuttered. And Mr. Cole, we didn't know, you didn't care, Daniel cut in. That is worse. The cameras that had filmed Marcus's shame were still rolling. Now they turned toward Daniel. Grant cleared his throat. Look, man, we were just joking around. No harm done? No harm, Daniel said. He looked at Grant like he was something stuck to his shoe. You humiliated a man who was simply doing his job. You laughed while he begged to keep feeding his child. A soft gasp moved through the hall. Why, you don't know his situation? Grant said, his voice higher now. You're just making a scene. Daniel raised an eyebrow. You spilled the wine, didn't you? Grant's face paled. That's ridiculous. Daniel turned to the other staff. Did anyone see? For a moment, there was only fear. Then Luis, the cook, stepped forward. His hands still held a stained towel. I saw, Luis said, voice shaking. He hit the glass, sir, on purpose. Another waiter nodded. He's been mean all night. To all of us. Murmurs grew. A few guests shifted uncomfortably. Daniel faced Mr. Clay. You fired Marcus in front of everyone. Will you fire the man who lied and bullied him the same way? Mr. Clay swallowed. Mr. Cole, Grant is a very important— No, Daniel said. His voice was quiet now, but it carried. Here is what will happen. If Marcus walks out of this place without his job and a full apology, I walk out too, and so does my yearly donation. A sharp breath went through the room. Everyone knew Daniel Cole's money kept this place alive. Grant jumped in. You wouldn't blow up a whole event over some waiter. Daniel looked at Marcus, then back at Grant. Over this man, he said. I would do much more. He turned to Marcus. Sergeant Reed. He asked softly, do you trust me? Marcus stared at him. Trust. It was a big word. He had trusted people before. Some had walked away. Some had taken everything. But this man, this boy he had carried through fire. Yes, Marcus said at last. I do. Daniel nodded. He stepped closer and took the fallen apron from Marcus's hand. You will not wear this again, Daniel said. His voice was gentle, but it rang through the hall. He turned to the crowd. You all know me as Daniel Cole, he said. Billionaire, businessman, whatever title is popular this week. A few nervous laughs. But there was a time, he went on, when I was just Private Danny Cole, scared, bleeding, certain I would die in the dirt. He held up the apron like a flag, and there was a man who refused to let me go. He spoke to me the whole way to the meeting tent. He told me jokes. He told me about the baby girl he had never met but already loved more than anything. He reached into his jacket. I never forgot his words, Daniel said, or his name. From his pocket, he pulled out a small, worn picture. The edges were ripped. The colors were faded. It showed a tiny baby in a hospital blanket. Marcus's breath caught. He knew that picture. He had carried it in his vest every day of that war. I found this in the dirt when they cut off my vest, Daniel said. I kept it. I promised myself I'd find the man who lost it. He held it out. His voice shook. Sergeant Marcus Lyon Reed, he said, using the old nickname from the unit. That was your hidden name, the bravest man in our squad. Marcus's eyes filled with tears. His hands trembled as he took the picture back. He had thought that part of him was gone forever. Now the whole room knew who he really was. No one dared speak. The hall was like a courtroom now. Daniel faced Mr. Clay. You will apologize to Marcus, he said, in front of everyone. The way you shamed him. Mr. Clay's face twisted. But he saw the cameras. He saw the fear in his staff's eyes. He knew the money on the line. I am sorry. Marcus, he said stiffly, I judged you without knowing you. And, Daniel pressed. Mr. Clay swallowed. And I should not have. You have your job back. With a raise, Grant scoffed. You can't let some sob story. Grant, Daniel said. You're done. I will not work with you again. Not in business. Not in charity. Not anywhere. Leave. The power flipped in a second. Grant's face went red, then white. He grabbed his coat and stormed out. A few people, who used to laugh at his jokes, turned their backs on him now. Daniel put a hand on Marcus's shoulder. You will not be a waiter much longer, he said. I run a foundation for veterans and single parents. I want you to lead a new project. A community cafe, job training, good food, a place where people are seen. Marcus shook his head, stunned. I'm just a waiter, he whispered. Daniel smiled. No, he said. You are a soldier, a father, a leader. The world tried to make you smaller. Don't help it. Tears slipped down Marcus's cheeks. What about my daughter? She have a scholarship, Daniel said. All the way through college. That's my thanks for my life. Months later, a small cafe buzzed on a busy corner. Its sign said, MIAS table. Everyone has a story. Marcus moved between tables with no tray now, only a warm smile. Mia sat at a side table, doing homework, sometimes running to hug him between customers. Luis worked the grill, laughing. Former dishwashers now wore clean aprons and name tags with pride. On the wall hung a photo of a younger Marcus in uniform beside a scared, smiling soldier Daniel, both dusty, both alive. Customers came in rich and poor, young and old. Here, no one yelled at the staff. No one threw wine. People listened. People shared. One evening, a man in a suit snapped at a young server. Before Marcus could move, Mia stepped up, small but fierce. Sir, she said, in this place, we treat people with respect. My dad says everyone has a hidden name. You don't want yours to be the mean guy, right? The man blinked. Then slowly, he smiled. You're right, he said. I'm sorry. Marcus watched from the counter, pride filling his chest. He had been broken, mocked, pushed down. But he had not stayed there. He had risen, not as a billionaire, not as a hero on TV, but as a man who knew his worth, moral. Never judge a person by their uniform, their job, or their skin. Behind every waiter, cleaner, or nobody is a story you do not know, a name you have not heard, a battle you did not see. And sometimes, the one you tried to humiliate is the very one who once carried someone like you through the fire.